I know everyone's very excited about this Coinbase direct listing, and here are my thoughts about trading it. So I've been trading a lot of these crypto stocks such as MARA, Riot, and some of the NFT names, a lot of the gap ups. So let's go over some of the trades right now. So the first trade I took today was actually the stock INO. It was for a loss at first and then for a small gain, and then pretty much like a break-even trade. The range is just not as good so far this week. With INO, this is a vaccine stock. This is not crypto, not NFTs. This is a vaccine stock. If you look at a daily chart, this thing was like the hottest vaccine stock last year around June and July when it ripped from 13s all the way to 30. Ever since then, this thing's just been kind of slowly selling off. And today they had like a PR about the vaccine and how it's like, oh, potentially, effective against the variants and whatnot. And the stock gapped up from nice all the way to almost $11. Like it touched 1080s pre-market, and it just tanked. And if you look at a daily chart, this thing was basically gapping up to the daily resistance levels up here. Around 1050s, 1080s, not exactly to 11s. It didn't get there, not quite. And then at the opening, just like dumped. I had very small starter. I knew it was early. It was so heavy early on, so I was thinking, okay, then maybe I can put on like a small starter on the short side and it'll fade. And I kept the stop actually pretty tight. So, once I reclaimed 10s, I immediately stopped out. So the first trade on the short side, small size, it was a loss. And then later on, it ripped to 1030s. Actually, it wasn't that big of a rip. I was thinking maybe 1050s, and it'll be a better re-entry or even pre-market highs. But this thing just couldn't, kept on rejecting. You see the wicks up here, right, around 1030s. And I'm looking on this on the 2-minute chart. It just couldn't break out. And once they started breaking down, I just shorted. Then 1020s. And, again, starter size. I didn't want to scale into it because it feels like a chase. If I had gotten in around like the 1038s, sure, that would have been better entry. But since I already took a small loss early on, with the small size shorts, about 1020s, I covered it all around 980s. I was hoping for like at least like a VWAP bounce to re-short it around 10s, but it just, you can see this thing like literally, bled down from 980s, my cover, down to 910. And because I took the first loss, small size, and the second one was like a small profit. This is a break-even trade. But this is what I mean by a lot of these gap ups in this market's not holding. So even though, INO, it might look good at the time pre-market, it looked pretty strong. But the opening, like the price action was just a lot of selling and couldn't even, you can see when it bounced, it didn't even go that high. So, if the stock like this is, gapping up to daily resistance, don't be that person buying the breakout at resistance levels. Just don't do it, okay? But I didn't do that well on the short side. Obviously, I should have stayed with it, should have scaled in more. But really, I was trying to be patient and wait for the bounce. But just didn't happen. Now, the next trade is one that I'm actually very frustrated about. It's QS. So this thing gapped down with a pre-market short report from, I forgot what's the name of the fund, Scorpion. So they had a hit piece on why this SPAC is, it should be worth, I think they said like $10. And if you look at the charts, this is a breakdown, a very clear breakdown on the daily, especially ones that $40 broke down. You can see that $40, like a psychological daily support that was held up the last few times. It broke down today. So with this gap downs, I never want to chase, especially when you had gap down so much from $40 down to $36. I had the right idea to wait for the bounce to $39. But my first short, I had a very decent size, full size over here. I scaled in and I kept my risk way too tight. You can see I stopped out right at 39.06. It ripped a little bit after my stop to 39.40s and immediately rejected back down. So I got stopped out on full size, unfortunately. So that was a decent loss. Let's just say that. Man, that was so frustrating. I had the right idea. I got stopped out from keeping my stop too tight, and then immediately started working. So even though I did go back and revisit the short side, I was scaling in a lot slower and a lot more conservative, just because I took the full size loss already. So this name, the short later on, it did work out and it did become like a small profit. But this trade overall was still red, just because I got stopped on full size. And later on, even though I was scaling in slowly, I never got to full size. And then I kind of got chopped up with the re-entries on the short side. So I scaled in around 38, 40s. I added some on the breakdowns, and especially once that $39 rejected again, I scaled in again. I just kept on trying to add, but I held on for a long time. It seems like it was gonna consolidate and form like a small trend to go up higher, but eventually it broke down. By then, I still didn't get a full size just because, again, of that full size stop early on. I did like try to write it out to like $37. And after I got out of my re-entry, this thing faded all the way down to 36. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit frustrated from this trade just because the stop was kept too tight. But also in this market, keeping my stop tight has been saving me especially this week from the last couple of days too. So I shouldn't get too frustrated about this. The loss was okay. It wasn't like a big loss, and later on did make back some. But it's just a little bit frustrating to me that I had such a good entry and then such a good average. After the initial scaling, I had like a 38 80s average, and then eventually it did work. But and what's frustrating is that once it broke down, finally it never bounced back. For even if I wanted to reshort it and re-enter the stock short, it never bounced back and just like bleeding out now to the low of the day. This is probably gonna go lower the next couple of days too. So QS, again, it's the short report, and also it broke down such a big level on the daily chart. So that's why that was my short thesis. Right thesis, wrong timing. So, and in day trading, it's very important to have both. You want the right timing and the right thesis. So, loss on this one. Gotta take it L on this. Can't win everything. So next one is TAOP. This one was pretty straightforward. And again, this one, I never got a full size on this just because it never bounced after the open. This is up on, I think, like NFT or like crypto news, something like that. But again, in this market, the gap ups are not working. They are not holding the gaps. And you can see I shorted this 850, and I covered my pre-market small position, 770s, and had like a last small piece left. And I wanted to re-add if it pops at the open. But this thing at the open, which is like dumped. Dump city. No bounce whatsoever. So I covered all of it here around 670s, and I never got a full size. I only had like a partial size 1/8 position. Small win on this, but then you can see it just faded. Again, small cap breakout, not working in this market. Don't be that person buying the high of the day breakout on the small caps. So just a warning, if you're, a lot of chat room alerts, they tell you to buy at $8 and sell at $8.20. You buy at $8, you're gonna get dumped all the way down to $7.30. So that's terrible risk reward. Just don't buy breakout on the small caps, especially not in this market. So that's TAOP. So my last trade is MARA. So this is a tiny scalp on this. You remember yesterday was the Coinbase IPO, and I've been getting a lot of questions from people saying, oh, how do you trade Coinbase? Are you going to trade Coinbase? What are your thoughts? And let me correct myself. It's a direct listing. So it's not an IPO. It's a direct listing, such as Palantir, Spotify, and there's a couple other direct listings. But here are my thoughts on the Coinbase IPO. And my thought is just don't trade this direct listing. When a stock is initially listed, you have no support or resistance. You have literally one daily candle. If you look at this Coinbase stock chart, Like you don't have any levels on the daily, right? You only have yesterday's level in which this thing spiked to 420s and then just sold off all the way back down. So you have no daily resistance and daily support. I mean, sure, you can say, oh, there's resistance at 380, but that's really just not enough information. And today, like, how are you gonna trade this? Are you just gonna use this random previous day close support and hope that it holds? Maybe, like, it's holding right now, but it doesn't have to, right? That's why I usually don't trade any direct listings on the first few weeks. And same as IPOs, I prefer not to trade them the first couple of days, especially. So that's my thought. I feel like, sure, you could probably scalp this, but I don't see an edge in trading this. And when we're trading, we need an edge. We need like an actual plan, an actual like support and resistance levels to plan it all out. Otherwise, it feels like a gamble, like picking, is it gonna go up or down? I literally have no idea. So if you feel like you have no plan, you can't plan with any of these price levels, then it's best to just avoid it. Sometimes the best trade is no trade. So that's my thought on Coinbase. But, as I mentioned many times before, I do trade stocks like MARA and RIOT, Riot. So those are the crypto related names that's related to the Bitcoin mining space. So instead of Coinbase, I would much rather trade these ones because you have actual daily support and resistance levels. And it's a stock I've traded many times in the past before. MARA. Today, it was a little bit strange. I think they are starting to kind of pull themselves away from the Bitcoin prices. Today, Bitcoin, didn't really break down that much, but this thing was just like selling off the entire day, following yesterday's action. So I think that was kind of curious, but I didn't trade this a whole day. I wish I shorted it, but I did not. I scalped this for like a small long after this $40 breakout. My small loss here, and then I sold all of the long into like tiny scalp. I didn't like the action. I didn't think it was gonna go all the way back to 41s. And if it gets to 41s, that's where I was looking for the short. Again, just a small scalp. It was slow day. I'm just looking for like base hits. So I shorted around 41, scaled into it, and all out. Like you can see, after I little scalp it, I just like kept on fading down. But small long, small profit, small short, small profit. So it's definitely one of those weeks where like the small wins added up. So even with my loss on QS, I'm still ending the day like super small green, like very small, very small. So not anything to brag about, but very small green. And I think in this market, you just have to be patient and wait for the entries. Doesn't matter whether you are just like going for like a small scalp, long or short, or going for like the big picture trade. It's so important to like wait for your entry. So going through the recent comment section, there's a lot of people asking where to get this hat. So this is the hat, the Humble Trader hat. It's a mesh hat. I especially wear this when I have bad hair days. So if you're day trading on the West Coast, you wake up first thing in the morning, you roll to your computer, this is a perfect hat for you because it hides your bad hair. So today my hair is not terrible, but the last time it was so bad I had to wear my hat. So I'm going to call this the Humble Trader Bad Hair Day hat. So you can get this online on my website, humbletrader.com, and you can grab this hat, and there's like other stuff like shirts and everything else. But so far the hat has been very popular, so it's like a trader hat for you. And also, I've been getting a lot of questions on where to get started if you are new to day trading. I always recommend to go through the free materials I have on my YouTube channel. In fact, I have a playlist specifically for you. So you can watch the videos for free. I even ordered it arranged it in the order I think you should watch it for. So if you're brand new, check out the playlist. I'll link that in the description below. It's my Day Trading for Beginners 2021 playlist. If you have any more questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and the bad jokes. If you want to see more day trading content, make sure to subscribe and follow me on Twitter and Instagram for more. If you'd like to trade with me daily and get my free weekend watch list and trading journal, make sure to check out the links below for more resources. Stay green, stay positive, and I'll see you guys next time.